My name's Eric Pereira, and I'm the MountainView counselor for Rutgers and Bronx.
Julio Ortiz, I'm an incoming student who's going to be studying human resources at Rutgers.
Regina Diamond Rodriguez, Mountain View Community Director of Transition.
Amy Diamond Rodriguez, Senior EOF Counselor for the School of Arts and Sciences.
Boris Busico, Graduate Nurse.
George Kofi Marfo, Automation Engineer.
Benjamin Chin, going to Princeton to do their Masters of Public Affairs program.
Christopher Etienne, CEO of Cinematic Productions.
Daryl Abney, Instructional Support Specialist.
Ian Jabrell, Petey Green.
Brian Snyder, Student Financial Aid Counselor.
Kareem Singleton, Behavioral Assistant with the Jersey Innovative Services.
Vincent Bradley, Media Specialist.
Mark Hopkins, Organizing with Labor and Employee Relations.
My name is Reginald Gaines. I'm an academic advisor for Rutgers University NJ-STEP program.
So when I first met Dr. Roden, I was currently, or at the time, incarcerated at Albert C. Wagner Youth Correctional Facility.
The first time I met Dr. Roden was in MountainView Youth Correctional Facility.
At Kintalk, Halfway House.
I met Dr. Roden in Yardville Youth Correctional Facility.
The Halfway House, Kintalk.
In Bordentown.
At MountainView Youth Correctional Facility.
Mountain View Youth Correctional Facility.
Garden State Youth Correctional Facility.
Mountain View Youth Correctional Facility.
Albert C. Wagner Youth Correctional Facility.
I was in Canada.
Mountain View Youth Correctional Facility.
Garden State Youth Correctional Facility.
When I first met Dr. Roden, this was around 2008, 2009. Like you said, older white guy. Being in prison, like the older white SEALs don't really treat us or shows respect. So when I met somebody like him that was respectful and seemed like he cared, it threw me off at first.
I was skeptical at first, to be honest. He seemed really convincing. It was almost like he was more excited about the prospect of me going to college than I could be for myself at the time. But even with my own skepticism, Dr. Roden was real consistent. He visited me almost as much as my mother.
He spoke to me as a human being, one-on-one, man to man. It wasn't like he was looking at me in my jumpsuit or in the khakis. He saw me as a person, and he looked past the stigma. He looked past the whole present situation that I was in, and he saw me as a college graduate. He saw me as somebody sitting side by side, with people who don't have, felonies or convictions.
The genuineness just flowing off of him was just there. He was just, you could tell his whole heart was into this, and he was the most genuine. I mean, he's a hippie from Wisconsin. He was ready to go, and you could just tell. It's an innate thing that you could tell that he cares about people and he treats people like people, and that came off right away.
He had this kind of unwavering and unconditional belief in us as people, but also as students, and our ability to kind of push our own boundaries and achieve, and that unconditional belief that people can do better, and that there's more to people than maybe what's on the surface or what you see, only if they're provided the right opportunities that they may not have otherwise. And so that's something that I think about often, and I think that started when I met Dr. Roden.
Dr. Roden's influence and guidance with the whole school process was instrumental in me actually completing school. Without him, I wouldn't have known what to do. I didn't have any real aspirations. So there was no way that I'd be able to pursue it on my own. I wouldn't know the first step without Dr. Roden.
Despite those credentials that he hold and titles that he hold, he never used that as any sort of platform to differentiate us. And that also helped me form a bond of trust with somebody that was already from another world than I was. So it was only necessary that somebody from a different world was able to establish a relationship with me, because I was already used to establishing those relationships with people that were similar to me. But unfortunately, the people that were similar to me weren't in the same, positions in life, and weren't able to give the same opportunities as a Dr. Roden.
Unfortunately, if you really look at this country's history, Black people have always needed some kind of cosigner to kind of make any progression in law. So, civil rights movement it became really effective once white people started getting involved and just kind of speaking to the injustices that were going on. I think for Dr. Roden, he was speaking to our injustices at that time. He had tenure in his university. He had a reputation for being upstanding, and it was kind of difficult for them to tell him no. So I think him vouching for us made that transition a lot easier. He was able to kind of initiate a system that allows for guys to continuously come in through the system.
He always told me that he was born into a wealthy family and that he grew up wealthy, but he had an aunt who worked in prisons, and she gave back and wanted to see people get an education beyond prison, and it got him into working into prisons and wanting the same thing. And I always felt like, you know, with Dr. Roden, that's one of the things that always stuck out. The energy that he had as far as giving.
He stayed on top of me. He called me every meeting they had. He would call me, pay for me to come to New Brunswick. I have no money. He used to pay for me to come to New Brunswick, catch the train, just to show me around the campus, introducing everybody. Then after like the second and third meeting, seeing everybody, I'm like, man, like this is, actually something that, I could see myself doing. And then after a while, it almost was like, when I seen how dedicated he was to everybody and seeing it for myself, it was like, I just felt like I kind of almost owed him that same effort that he gave me.
It was just enlightening to have somebody with such education, such experience, and to know that me and him differ from growing up like our backgrounds growing up, but yet here's this person who is willing to help, who is willing to assist, and like go 100% for somebody who he doesn't know. Which, in that culture of being inside, everybody knows you stick to yourself. At least that's what I learned, and you don't get much help from many people.
The tremendous impact that he had on my life came later. The transition to Rutgers, applying to Rutgers. I'm a first-generation college student, so I didn't really have anyone at home who could sort of guide me through the process, and I was already an adult, so I felt a little silly, like trying to access resources here, and I didn't even know that there could be resources to guide me through the process. But his connections and then his constant presence. In my first interactions with him, he had already been going above and beyond for students, and I witnessed this firsthand. And they were small things at first, but the more I got to know him and the more I became part of the community, there was no limit to what he would do for a student.
Good people will tell you, I'm going to believe in you until you believe in yourself. That's just the person that Dr. Roden was. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, even as I was coming into my first semester at Rutgers, but he always believed in me and told me that I could do it, even when I thought that I couldn't.
He gave me hope. He gave me, an opportunity for something else, for something better, because, that had been my life for a long time, like being in different facilities or institutions of some sort from an early age. You came through, you showed, you followed through, and you made me a believer in that because you were able to open the door that nobody else could.
I think as people who've been awarded these opportunities, what we should do is absolutely expand the opportunities by making sure that we create a culture and organized efforts to bring more people into this community that are coming from the community that brought us together in the first place. Like each one, teach one, reach one, like simple as that. And that's what he always kind of established for me in terms of the concept of the program. And I think that it's only right that we honor that tradition.
If you live a life where it's an honest living, you're taking care of yours, you're taking care of your family, you could impact, a generation of people. But if you take the time to reach out to those around you and extend that branch of opportunities to them, and you could impact the world. And I believe that not, just burying these jewels that was handed to me by Dr. Roden, but actually given other individuals the opportunities to experience the richness of knowledge, of education. That will be my way of showing my gratitude to Dr. Roden, reaching out to people who were formerly incarcerated, people who never had college in their sights, and giving them that vision that they're intelligent enough to make it in that realm of higher education.
There is limits to what one man can do, and you've by far exceeded those limits. I think that the opportunity you've given so many people and where they've taken it is beyond what anyone could ever ask of you. And I think it's now time for other people to help. Thank you for everything. And there's a lot of people who think very highly of you and are very appreciative, even if you don't see it every day.
Thank you for bringing forth that inspiration and just pushing me when I kind of didn't want to keep going, that I wasn't even going to school. And you would always tell me, like, okay, take your time, but whenever you want to take that step, I'm here. And I thank you for that.
Dr. Roden, I don't think my life would be half of what it is today. Oh. I feel like he knows this already, so Dr. Roden, I don't think my life would be half of what it is today had I not met you in 2009. To say that I'm grateful is like a tremendous understatement. I hope that the life that I live today and the legacy that I carry on in your name makes you proud and shows and expresses how grateful that I am.
Dr. Roden, I just want to thank you for giving me and the rest of my peers this amazing opportunity to really discover who we are, and that we are more than what we are labeled, and that we are more than where we come from. I just celebrated 41 years, which is something that I never thought I would do because of how I was living. But I owe that to you too.
Dr. Roden, you are God's gift on this earth. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because the reason I was able to achieve all of these great things is because of you, because of your hard work, your dedication, and your big heart. And I just want you to understand that all of this is because of you, and it will continue because of you.
I'm a very visual person, so I have an active imagination, and I always pictured myself at the bottom of this very deep and dark black hole with no way of climbing out. You gave me hope. You believed in me even though you didn't know me. You embraced me even though you didn't know me. And I really, really appreciate the impact that you've had on my life over the years.
So Dr. Roden, without you, Dr. Roden, I wouldn't be in the place I am today. I wouldn't have accomplished any of the things that I've accomplished thus far. And I only wish or hope that I can impact someone's life in a meaningful way that you've done for me. My family, my mom looks at me, she's proud of me. My sister looks up to me. My dad, I'm an engineer. Never dreamed of ever becoming an engineer. None of this would have been possible without you. Thank you, Dr. Roden.
I'd start by saying, Dr. Roden, I'm incredibly grateful for what you've done for not only me, but for so many others. There's nothing I can say, there's nothing I can do to express how thankful I am. Something I try to work on is this concept or this value or principle of kind of outgoing love and outward love and kind of everything that I do. And I think what you created and what you did for me and so many others really embodies that.
All right. So, Dr. Roden, when I met you in prison, I took a few of your classes and I went to the Alpha House and I lost contact with you. And somehow you found me, man. You found me in Trenton. I was in Clinton House. I was going to work. I came back and it was like, there's a message here from down Roden. I'm like, what? I'm like, I thought he forgot all about me. So I called you back. You was like, yeah, come on to New Brunswick for an interview. And that moment right there, restored faith, because again, I didn't know what I was going to go home to. I had no idea what I was going to go back to. I just knew that I was going back to the same environment that got me in trouble in the first place. And I just wanted to let you know that you really saved my life. You gave my life purpose, and I just want to let you know I'm gonna always be appreciative of that.
Professor Roden, Dr. Roden, I just want to start off by just saying thank you for seeing something in me that I saw in myself before, but I put it to the side. My mother believed in you, you know what I mean? My mother, before she passed, she always told me, make sure you keep in touch with that man, make sure you keep in touch with that man. I'm like, Dr. Roden? She's like, yeah, make sure you keep in touch with him. Because she believed in you. She felt it, she knew your sincerity, and my mother doesn't believe in anybody. I just want to thank you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I always will.
Dr. Roden, when I think about you, the way it come to me is that you gave me sort of a second life, but you helped me get to that place. Not with too much help, but most of it by my own hands, but you showed me. They say if you give a person a fish, they eat for a day, but if you show them how to fish, then it's good for a year or two. But you taught me how to fish pretty much, and you also showed me that other people do care.
Don Roden, you still had the audacity to continue to encourage me to fulfill my fullest potential in ways that still surprises me. I was trying to figure out who I was and what I was supposed to be doing. And I didn't know that I was going to be standing on the shoulders of a giant to see a little bit further of the vision at the moment where I felt like I was under the foot of a giant or in the belly of a beast.
Dr. Roden, I just wanted to thank you for believing in me when I didn't even believe in myself. Your drive and your push and the confidence that you helped instill in me still carries me today. Coming from a place where we had a lot of low self-esteem and not really much expectations, you actually gave me expectations that I never really had before. You chose to dedicate your life basically and sacrifice all your time to help us out, complete strangers. And I just want to thank you just for all your sacrifice and time and dedication and work just to get us on a different level in life.
Dr. Roden, Don, of course, you are a truly revered individual. I was in ADSEG for those 6 months. You came through and made sure you found out where I was at before anybody else knew where I was at. From sitting in there and not knowing where I was going with my life and what I was going to be doing, even as a kid and even before prison, just dealing with so much and then knowing there has to be more than this. There has to be more to life. There has to be something better. And there was the whole time. The difference was that you helped me to see, to just change my perspective on life. You helped show me that I can be confident in those ways. and I could also just do just that, carry on your legacy and help other people. I'll never be able to get on your level. But I thank you for allowing me to try.
Dr. Roden, the Don, the Godfather. There was no need for you to go into prisons and interact with society's undesirables. There was no reason for you to open up the doors of opportunity to people who are blind to opportunity itself. You helped people create families. You made us better brothers, better fathers, better uncles. You created examples that exemplify the necessity for second chances. A person like you only exists once in a lifetime. So thank you for making your lifetime so impactful.